In progress.
So, welcome back to the session again. In the previous class, like yesterday's session, we have seen how various blocks affect us, the various patterns, or the various inner processes block our energies. And in fact, we could go through quite good number of aspects or the inner mechanism we could learn about. We have seen the Panchakoshas, the three bodies, the Pancha Sunyas, Sunya, Atisunya, Mahasunya, Sunya, Atisunya, and Antar Sunya. We have learnt about Atma, who's residing inside the core of the spiritual heart, known as the Angushta Matra Purusha, who in this meditation process is listening to the Paramatma. The Paramatma is explained to us as Sat Chit Ananda, the eternal truth, the purest consciousness, and a blissful state. We have also seen the four parts of mind: Manas, Buddhi, Chittam, and Ahankaram. We have seen the three Grandhis: Brahma Grandhi, Vishnu Grandhi, and Rudra Grandhi. The Tripuras, or the three forts. We have seen the Trigunas. Sorry, this is a little inverted. I'm sorry for this. Sattva, Rajas, Tamo Gunas, we have seen. The three states of consciousness. Then Jagrat, Svapna, Sushupti, Avasthas, Avastatrayam, we said. The Pancha Mahabhutas, the five elements of which we are made. The 14 lokas, 7 lokas at the top and 7 at the bottom. We have understood that by taking a human birth, we have evolved past the lower lokas. So we are only concerned with the top 7 lokas: Bhulokam, Bhuvarlokam, Suvarlokam, Mahalokam, Janalokam, Tapolokam, and Satyalokam. The Urdhva Gati, they say. That is why many rituals are performed when a person leaves the body. The meaning of the rituals is that it helps the Atma to reach the higher lokas. We have also understood that Yad Bhavam Tat Bhavati. If we identify ourselves physically with the physical lokas exist for us and we go to one of the lokas. And if we don't identify with the physical aspects, we identify ourselves with the Brahman, we become one with the Brahman. So, Yad Bhavam Tat Bhavati. The inner reality we can perceive, the level to which we can perceive, will manifest. And then we have seen the Pancha Pranas. The Pranavayu, Vyanavayu, Apanavayu, Samanavayu, and Udanavayu. We have seen the Shat Chakras and how to activate them. The Bija Mantras for various chakras we have seen. And we have also understood that each of the petal means a particular quality in us. And the beautiful Radha Kalpana, which has been taking us forward. And it has been helping us to understand that there is something, the sensory objects, the objects picked up by the senses are often very turbulent. And there's something beyond the senses, which is the manas. The manas, which is represented as the reins here. And there is a much bigger one called the intellect, which guides us through. We have also understood that the intellect is again guided by the karma. Buddhi karma anusarini. When we remember this, often we check ourselves, we check the intellect. This happens when we allow the higher intellect. We allow the higher intellect to reflect through us. That is the purpose of this meditation process, wherein we are turning the Angushtamatra Purusha towards the inside, towards, we are asking him when I say it's not the gender, we are asking the indweller, the one who is residing in this body, in this pura or this temple, as they say, to look inward and not towards the world. So that many of the patterns of the samskaras we hold to, they vanish or disappear. As the Angushtamatra Purusha is listening to the Omkara, this Omkaram, it permeates through all these three bodies. It is coming from the source, from the Paramatma. It permeates into the subtle body and then into the causal body, the subtle body, and the physical body. Thereby, most of the blocks are removed, even without our knowledge. Even without being conscious of that, it happens. And that is why we get cleansed of many of the samskaras. And then, so the Angushtamatra Purusha has to listen to the Omkara. That is the crux of the understanding of this meditation process here. So, to help us reach a particular state of mind, a better state of mind, initially we can chant it outwardly, say for 100 times. And then we start listening to it. It so happens that sometimes, we don't hear or the volume is lost. It is then that we get connected to the inner volume. Then suddenly, tak, 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 you can listen to that. So take it as an opportunity to listen to the inner chant from the Paramatma. The Angushtamatra Purusha will be listening. And what is this gross body going to do? It is just sitting and observing. The gross body is just seeing it. It's just observing it without any ripples in the mind. It's just observing. And the Angushtamatra Purusha is listening. That is the whole process. So we have also understood that as we talk, the speech, it starts happening. It's an inner process again. It starts happening or it goes through 4 stages. So before it becomes an articulated sound, before you can hear this or listen to this sound, there are 3 more stages, which we have, yesterday I have just mentioned them. The para is the seed. It is when this whole process begins, right? There is a thought that I have to speak. That is the seed there. And that grows into this articulated sound. Though we may think that this articulation is happening in a flick of a second, it is happening in various stages. Behind this articulation, there are many more stages. Bhuvana was rightly suggesting us that, when there are certain methods wherein the Omkaram is chanted outwardly, all the methods are correct. All the methods are correct. But this method is an ultimate method wherein we are reaching the inner reality consciously. Right? When Omkaram is chanted outwardly, I said Omkaram is the ultimate Bija mantra. Bija is a seed. Mantra is a string of syllables. in Omkaram, there are 3 syllables. A-O-M. Omkaram. A-O-M. So, as Om is chanted outwardly, it arises from the lower chakras, and it passes through the Manipura and reaches the Visuddhi. It is then the Omkaram is complete. Right? It travels through all these chakras and reaches here, the Visuddhi. From Mooladhara to Manipura and reaches the Visuddhi. That is the stage of sound. There the Para, Paschanti, Madhyama, Vaikhari is explained about Omkaram, which is chanted outwardly. It is explained in such a way. There the Para, Paschanti, Madhyama, Vaikhari is transcending the chakras, passing through the chakras, and ultimately the sound is dissolved. The sound is created, it is sustained, and then there is the dissolution of the sound. Okay, this is Para, Paschanti, Madhyama, Vaikhari in relation to Omkara, which is chanted outwardly. But here in this process, there is nothing we are doing, like we are not chanting. We are just, Gangushtamatra Purusha is listening to that. There is nothing that we are doing. We are just observing silence. Angushtamatra Purusha is also silent. As a physical body, we have to be calm, quiet, and obviously there will not be any restlessness, because for quite some time, I think today we are almost touching the 28th or 29th day. By now, all the restlessness of the physical body would have reduced. So it's only, that is why we pray to the Guru as we start the session, to help us sit through the session. We have to sit. We have to sit and just take us help. And then, see, it's like this. Para, the seed form. Paschanti. There is an imagination, which is like a wave. Madhyama. There is a search for expression. There is we try to express ourselves in terms of some words, or the understanding takes an expression. Vaikhari is the ultimate manifestation of the sound. We have also understood that as this process happens, we vibrate so much that all this vibration is deposited in this universe, and that comes back to us, you know. So when we do this consciously, the quality of the vibration improves. And when we said that the very, like, you know, even few people sitting here is sufficient to empower millions who are there on this earth. By that, I mean that it is meant that we have begun to vibrate with a better frequency. The vibrational frequency is better. This calms down this counters the vibrational frequency which is happening outside. It is sufficient. And this has been said by Guru Garu himself. When I questioned him, it was such an innocent question. I've asked him that, is it sufficient, sir, if I sit here alone and do something? Is it okay? Is it sufficient? You know, I was not, I did not understand the various aspects of his suggestion when he said that it is sufficient. He said, it is. I didn't understand. But later on, you know, I have somehow developed a little understanding wherein it is enough. Even if one of us starts begin to resonate at a higher level, at a better frequency, that helps a lot to the world. And it is expected that the last 5 years of this decade will be very turbulent and troublesome to humanity. And that is the reason why we reiterate our sankalpa. We reiterate that whatever phalam or result this tapas, this meditation process gives, we give back to the world. We give back for the benefit of humanity, which has to undergo through this process of karmic cleansing. As a group, we have to reap through the group karma, simplified word. As a group, we perform many actions. Just by being silent or not responding to some difficult situation that is going outside, that again is a negative karma. So as a group, by being blind to various circumstances or situations, we are performing negative karma, or a karma which is going to give us a difficulty. And this whole process of meditation is aimed at cleansing or purification of the self and purification of the entire universe. So how does this purification happen? We have seen that karma is of different types again. The Sanchita karma, which is there in our account. The prarabdha karma, which we have chosen to undergo in this life. And the fruit of the karma that we are performing now, which is yet to come, the agami karma. So as an individual, we take the karma, we have to undergo, there is no respite, it has to happen. But when we take this karma with proper understanding, actually there is no suffering. We go through various situations with understanding, and therefore there is no suffering. And it has to be understood that only suffering will give us purification. The best form is suffering. Even that we have understood by now. So this process is aimed at self-purification and thereby self-realization. And this, we come to a point where we have to study about the nadis. Nadis are the pranic flow channels. See, we have seen the chakras. We have talked about the prana shakti or the life force. Just as in the physical body, we have a system of veins and things like that, which carry the blood. In a similar way, the energy body has prana shakti. This prana shakti is rooted through many flow channels all around the body. So in a physical body, you can just find a vein, right? You can find a vein which carries blood. It could be found through dissection. But in the prana sharira, you cannot see the nadis or the flow channels of prana with the physical eye. That is not found. You cannot see that. But yet, there are well-designated channels through which prana shakti reaches every nook and corner of this body. So this prana shakti feeds the subtle body, the physical body, and also the subtle body and the causal body. All the three bodies, they feed on the prana shakti. Right? There is again, we might ask, why is there so much of difference in the number of nadis? Hatha Yoga Pradipika. When we say Hatha Yoga, the Hatha Yoga deals with all the asanas that one does, that the yogi does. They quote 72,000 nadis, and each branching off into another 72,000 nadis. So why is there this difference? You see, these nadis could be seen by the rishis during their tapas. When they were performing the tapas, they could see them, literally. And whatever they could see, that has been explained to us. And Siva Samhita states that there are 350,000 nine. That means so many branches. It means that the rishi could see even the finest of the flow channels, the channels through which this prana shakti is flowing, even the branches, the smallest of the branches, they could see that. That is how we should understand this. And Kathopanishad says that there are 101 channels which are radiating from the heart. You know, there are many channels, some main channels, sub-channels and branches and small tributaries, just like the rivers, the pattern of the rivers. There are some very important channels. And that is the reason why this whole meditation is taking place in the Anahata Chakra. And that is why it becomes the Moksha Vidya. Because very, very important nadis, they radiate from the heart. And once the blocks in these nadis are removed, even without knowing, magic happens, miracles happen to us. Even without knowing all this knowledge. But, you know, since we are in an age where we are very curious to know what is really happening inside, there's no harm in knowing about it. But even if we do not know that, the magic takes place. Guru Garu often says that bhakti does miracles, faith does miracles. So we were also discussing on the faith-based approach and the logic-based approach, where logic looks for reason and some proof. Faith does not ask you for anything, because these questions keep building up. The more we use the logical brain, the more questions arise, and there's no satiating the hunger there. So with faith, you know, you just hold the hands of the master and he takes you wherever you have to go. It just happens. We just function with a different aspect, where we just look at the Guru. That's all. We just hold his hand, he takes us forward. So here, the Kathopanishad rightly directs us that there are very, very important channels, 101 in number, radiating from the heart. See, these are the energy pathways. See the channels there. Can we see this with the naked eye? No way. No way. This is the energy bodies, the prana sharira. So to see that, this is only possible when the intensity of the tapas is high or more. When intense tapas is performed, these astral tubes could be seen by the rishis, right? And here, we were also referring to the term microcosm always, and the macrocosm. Macrocosm is that which we see with the physical eye. Sorry. That which we can see outside, everything that we see outside. We are a miniature representation of that big thing which we see outside. See, we have the bigger space, the big space which is outside. We have a small space here inside, the Daharakasha. So whatever is there, and Guru Garu says that the Daharakasha is as big as the yogi. As the yogi, or as the yogam, the experience unfolds. We can't say that a yogi is a big yogi or a small yogi. We cannot say that. No? It's only the level of experience one undergoes. As experiences unfold, the yogi blooms. And the Daharakasha, it becomes bigger, he says. It is as big as the yogi, he says. So here, so this is a representation of the bigger manifestation which we can see with the physical eye. We are a miniature. We are a typical representation of the big one or the macrocosm. Or also that is the Brahmandam. And this microcosm is often called as, is not often, it is called as the Kshudra Brahmanda. Kshudra, as I said, is not something which is dangerous or fierce, nothing like that. Kshudra is small, a small Brahmanda. We also have the lokas inside. And inside this Daharakasha, there is the sun, there is the moon, there are the stars, everything is there. As we focus on the tapas, the meditation process, so we can see all that. Everything could be seen inside. The only thing is we should allow this to happen. And here at this point, it becomes important for us to unlearn, just forget whatever we know, so that they all do not come in the middle of this experience. So they block this experience. So it's important for us to unlearn many things. So just know it, forget, and sit through the process so that this experience can happen. If many questions arise from all our learning, this experience is delayed. Nothing wrong in questioning, but it is delayed by that time, Sorry. This is called the cerebrospinal system. As far as the human anatomy is concerned, this is the brain and this is the spine. So the cerebrospinal system. It is called the Merudanda. This is called the Merudanda, right? And it is here that we have to focus upon. Though there are so many nadis, there are three important nadis that we must know about. Just a minute. The central channel, which, so all these nadis, when we are talking about, we are in the energy body, right? Either way, when we talk about the chakras or we talk about the nadis, just leave this physical body and go inside. We are in the prana sharira. So these 7 chakras, Shat chakras, they are actually 6 chakras: Mooladhara, Swadhisthana, Manipura, Anahata, Vishuddhi, Ajna. When a yogi crosses all these chakras, it means when he overcomes all the qualities of these chakras, the human qualities, he becomes a yogi, one with the universal consciousness. And therefore, that state of mind is called the Sahasrara chakra. By itself, it's not a chakra. So this should have been 6 chakras, but it's nothing is wrong when we say 7 chakras. But it is to be understood that this reflects the state of mind, an ultimate state of mind, right? So the nadis, see, there is a central tube-like thing, which could not be seen with the physical eye. So since this is in the energy body, the central nadi, when we say nadi, it is the pranic channel or the flow channel through which the prana moves. So this central channel is called the Sushumna nadi, right? And this white one here, the left side, is called the Ida nadi. And the red one is called the Pingala nadi. Okay, so we have to understand that these 3 nadis are very, very important for us to realize or relate to. So I think I'll stop here because this is a very deep subject. We will be understanding more about the Sushumna, Ida, Pingala, and I think already we have a question. What is Kundalini? That is where we will be discussing certain points of that very soon, sir. Please just reserve the question for the next sessions. Interaction, please.
Thank you, Rajalakshmi. Masters, any questions, please? You can unmute yourself.
So as we understand the nadis and all, we will eventually understand what Kundalini is also. So in the next few sessions, we should be able to understand what exactly people talk about. Yes, Bhuvana, there are different deities we refer to in each chakra. Again, that is a very, very deep subject. In the Shat Chakra Nirupanam, the various Adhisthana Devatas of each chakra are mentioned. So that will be a little too deep for, and it is a little beyond the scope of this session. Therefore, I'm not going into that. Over to Parameshwaran, sir.
Namaste, everybody. Om Aksharanam Akarvasmi, said Krishna. So starting letter it is me, like that everything he says, I am that. So ultimately realizing that one by one, going to the unknown through the known. So it is not a one day affair like that. Even chanting the vibration. The creation itself is from nothing but vibration. Now, one question is, how many of us know whether vibration comes from the sound or sound comes from the vibration? Who can tell me? Which is first? First is vibration or sound? From sound, vibration comes, this is what we understand, right? But it is not so. It is the other way. That's why it's called even butterfly effect. Butterfly, its vibration, though look so tiny, but that is how we can create the ripples effect. Like, so whatever we do, chanting, the sound will never die. Simple, I don't know whether you can hear. See, from vibration, you can see. No, I have not made sound. Now there is vibration here in the bowl. And see. See, from vibration comes the sound. See, normally we do like this, then you make a sound. But see, it is already there. So everything is vibrating, basic. That's why there is even meditation, Buddhist meditation and all that nowadays. Anapanasati, nothing, but it's all modified version from the practice and experience. Bowls are used and music is used, all instrumental. Same way now, Rajalakshmi Garu was talking about spinal column, Merudanda. Those who know music, Veena, you can say it is alike. You can count how many are there in your spinal column, vertebra. It can be related to Veena also. See, it's all wonderful and never-ending learning. And Talking about Akshara, we were talking yesterday, several days, letters, Madrika. First letter is A. The last letter is Cha. A to Cha, 50 letters are there. So, Ra, A to Acha. Acha is the 50 letters called Madrika Chakra, the wheel of mantras. And Ra is the principle of Shiva, Ishvara. Okay. In Shaivism, this is explained in fact. The wheel of creation or the force matrix of cosmic ocean, the universe, which is filled with vibrations or waves of energy. So the Acha, Atucha, that is nothing but Parashakti. So she is the axis or the hub, okay, of this Madrika Chakra. This is how, see, the Jnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga combines here. The Ra is the shaft or the pivot which support the wheel and facilitates its cyclic motion. Then the spokes of the wheel, that is, the spokes are nothing but the matras or the shaktis in the chakras, who manifest from her. The Parashakti only comes. Matras. So, the Akshara, Aksha plus Ra represents the whole alphabet or the letters or language of whole reality itself or the wheel of creation itself, which is characterized by the union of Shakti and Shiva respectively. Akshara. So what is the real literal meaning of Akshara? Chara means perishable. Akshara, which is imperishable, represents the sound, nada, form of Shiva as Ishvara or Brahman. That's why called Akshara Brahman, Nada Brahman, we say, who has Prakriti or Parashakti as his dynamic force. That's why we normally, like fun also, we say, Shiva without Shakti is Shava. So he is static and she is dynamic. So like that, it's all explained, and it's a wonderful, never-ending for learning. And we get absorbed in this once we know, knowledge is power, we say, like this, the inner knowledge. And many other meditation sessions, they recommend so many books, particularly Western authors. So many are there today. It's wonderful. But those who have got time to read so much, it's okay. Like Jasbir, yes, I will be reading. Not me, person like me, I don't know. So we don't have to go for so much. It is there within. But when you know little, it is wonderful, and practice makes a person perfect, we say. Perfection has no limit, no end. Like one question lead to many questions. So ultimately, the question should dissolve. Nobody can answer a question, only we have to find going within. Right? So Ida Pingala doing Nadishuddhi Pranayama, opening up all the channels. That's why Pranayama should be preceded before meditations, so that our channels open up. Right? So let us take a comfortable position. And also the Merudanda spinal column. This is called Merudanda Mudra, thumbs up. When you have back pain and even meditation, you can use this. You can feel inhale, exhaling. The energy flows from below the tail end of our spinal column, coccyx region, going up and going down. So this is also another back pain, etc. And how you place, like this or like this or like this, matters. So that upper portion of spine or lower back pain or upper or middle, like that also it can be. Otherwise, generally, for back pain, you can see consciously, you can breathe holding this mudra, Merudanda Mudra. Again, Meridanda Mudra, somebody will say another way, it is also correct, but this is generally like that, right? Take a few deep breaths and let go all the tension, stress, and feel relaxed. Relaxation is half the way to meditation. Consciously, like Ranganatha going to Yoga Nidra. Let all the channels open up, connect to the inner channels. Let it expand, let all the chakras open up and expand as you breathe in and breathe out. So go for Nadi Shuddhi, closing the right nostril, opening the left. First exhale, let go, and inhale slowly, deeply, consciously breathe.
Masters will start in a couple of seconds.
Bindu samyuktam nityam gayanti yoginah kamadam mokshadam seva omkaraya namo namah.